Number one life hack for infinite energy is to do what you want. Do what you enjoy. That's it. If you stop the video now, that's all you needed to know. The thing is that no one's really, from what I see, most of the time living life for themselves. They're in reaction, whether it be to their inner thoughts, whether it be to the environment around them. They're always taking into, and it's important to calibrate, you want to be able to navigate smoothly, but they're taking too much of their external and not focusing enough internal. If you're really taking the time to nurture yourself, grow, put in self-love, then you're going to be in a state of thriving. You'll be flowing effortlessly. You'll be loving and invested in what you do 10 times more. And you'll be in a flow state because you're in your element. You're doing things that you find amusing. Now, if you're not, and you're just going along doing the day-to-day grind, just trying to make it, navigate, doing things that other people want you to do, then you're not going to be thriving at all. You're going to be coping. You're going to be having to deal with this, deal with that. And I mean, you obviously throughout life will have to deal with other people and what they want you to do. But, make sure that in addition, you're putting yourself first by making the main thing out of the 24 hours in a day that you're doing something that you find at least entertaining. So that way, self-amusing as you go. Now, self-amusement is another powerful way to gain this infinite energy. Along with, enjoying it, entertaining yourself is a huge thing. Because if you're not finding something about your life and your life's experience and your perspective of how you're viewing things entertaining to the point where you're amused, then you're living a dull, boring, peasant-filled life. Imagine if you walked around and you didn't self-amuse. You waited for other people to validate you. And I mean, you could do that, but then you're relying on external stimulus, and that's not really the wave. When you could, make jokes, do something that you enjoy, that you can tweak and edit and feel like you're being creative. Amuse yourself, make yourself laugh, be your own best friend within the moment. And going off of the moment, present moment is another way to generate great sense of infinite energy. If you come into the now, you got external things going on, there's like some weird creepy dude over there, gotta get these chodes out the way, some drama came up on your phone you're looking at, you're having a conversation and now you're thinking about how that went. There's so much going on, you're planning ahead. If you're not in the present moment, you're getting drained by trying to, multitask and balance all these things. And when it comes to getting present to the moment, you try to still the mind, still all those thoughts, and not to say you dismiss them and you're like, oh, well, nothing matters now, I'll just be a person going dur, but calming yourself, getting rid of those thoughts will take away the mental strain and give you the room to breathe, to be yourself, not in reaction, and save some of that energy and even generate energy. Now, generating energy from the present moment, fire, so awesome, so OP, for real. Now, take your five senses. I love how our five senses work to help bring in the environment. But if you're present, there's not as much overstimulation. You're savoring the little delicate things, the feel of the breeze, the little details and things that you see, the slight sounds that were in the background that you didn't hear before, maybe a smell, maybe a taste. And if you're not overstimulated and you're in the present moment and you can actually savor those things, they'll fuel you. They're not going to take away from you. They're going to give you more to work with. They'll give you a sense of oneness. Sounds kind of woo, but imagine if you're at one with your environment and you're not in resistance. How much energy are you saving? Crazy amounts of energy. Crazy amounts. Now, when I look at the sun behind me, for example, I love the outdoors. I'm going to take it in just for this moment, I'm going to enjoy it. Feel like I don't need to think about anything else. And I'm not saying, get lost in the sun and watch the sunset. I'm just saying find things in your environment that you enjoy. Don't just be like, oh, well, I'll get present and I'll start seeing things and it'll be beautiful, like when Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, you know, stepped into the rainbow and golden trail and the color came. You know, it's not going to be maybe like that, you know. Maybe you have a deep sense of presence and you like it like that. But find just things in your environment. I enjoy the sun, the dew that's on these leaves right here. I find astounding. Like, nature is so beautiful to me. So find those things in nature that you enjoy and, you know, get energy from that, enjoying yourself. Now, say for example, you're running into an issue where you're like, well, I'm underslept. How do I get this energy? Well, you played yourself, first of all. Sleep is so important and so crucial to fueling yourself for the day. And if you don't have that baseline, then you're starting from a negative. You know, I mean, you could obviously swole through. You know, no limits when you're determined to overcome it. You know, it may try to project itself forward, but you can always try to get beyond it. I'm not trying to put a limiting belief out there, but you know, sleep is crucial. There's not really a way to fully compensate. A lot of people do energy drinks, coffee, things like that. When a lack of sleep, will actually do a little bit of meditation. Just take some moments for myself where I'm not exerting. I'm really just like almost regenerating, like a little solar panel. And then I'll take that little bit of calm and still and use that to move forward. Now, using bits of meditation throughout the day to not necessarily generate energy, but to recoup and come from a grounded point is really awesome. And I think it's underutilized. You know, there's a lot of times when I'll just take a second for myself. And when I say meditation, I mean there's meditation in low stimulus, secluded environments where, you know, there are no distractions. But I love high stimulus meditation in the middle of the dance floor, in the middle of a busy street, and at work, when you're exercising. Just the more of life's experience that you can cut through and be present to the moment, I think the more strength training you have. Like, why compete against nothing and then go out into the world and be like, oh, now I got to compete? No, compete against everything and then just get comfortable in those environments at the same level as if there was nothing. Now, high stimulus environments, for me, I can thrive. You know, I don't feel overcome. I just roll with the punches. I love stimulus. So I feed off of high stimulus environments, and that fuels my infinite energy. You know, for some people, it might be the opposite. Low stimulus environment is where you thrive more. You just get to relax, get to calm down. I also thrive in those environments because then I get to just be me and self-amuse and, you know, have a mini alone adventure. So I've trained myself to like both, but see what types of environments you thrive in more. Obviously, you want to be able to adapt to both, but know yourself so that way you know ways that you can charge up your battery like almost a power nap throughout the day. It's a great way to fuel that infinite energy by taking time to either put yourself in an environment where you'll thrive or avoid one where you won't thrive. Now, say, for example, you are trying this infinite energy out and you have, I don't know, an issue with your environment and you're like, the vibe is crushing me. I feel so drained. Then it's hard to escape, you know, something that's external circumstance that's holding you down like that. And in those times, I would say, get present in the moment, just because you're in reaction. Going back to what I mentioned earlier about your mental bandwidth just being stretched everywhere trying to deal with things. If you can't change the environment, and say there's like, you're at the club, there's some weird dudes near you, it's kind of late in the evening, and you want to, you know, be hype, but it's like, the chodes are killing my vibe. My girlfriends are here, but there's like a lot of weird orbiters around me. These guys, I can't, they're messing with the vibe. Then, obviously, you want to try to utilize your bubble. Now, if you're a goddess and you've fortified yourself with nothing but the utmost of prestige, then, you know, you dismiss peasants with finesse. Now, if they're in your peripheral vision and they're disgusting, then, I mean, dudes are disgusting. If they're in peripheral vision, they're killing your vibe and disgusting, then I would say move to another location. But for some reason, if you can't you know, your squad's here, you're doing something at work and there's a weird guy staring at you, fucking eating a sandwich or some shit, then it's like, can I block out the haters? They're kind of looking at me. And then at that point, I would call upon my future self to give me clout. And I'm like, future self, oh, hey there. Future self, there's some weird dudes around me. Oh, really? Well, the future you who's a billionaire and of nothing but the highest prestige, hanging with nothing but the finest of the fine, the littest of the lit, would eject set. Oh, for real? Yeah. No, just eject set. So I eject set. Even if I'm with people, if the vibe is killing me, I'll go for a refresher. I'll step out, I'll come back. Boom. At least that way when I come back in, it's with a new frame. And I'm like, ugh, these ugly people around me. Well, I guess I'm lit. I'm just surrounded with peasants for now. The peasants will pass. And then life will continue. And that's one of those things that always catches a lot of people when it comes to feeling drained by their environment. They don't realize that the circumstance is temporary. That, they get hung up in like, oh, there's someone who I have drama with around. There's just like the weather I don't like. And it'll kill their vibe, but they'll be focusing so heavily on the external. Like I mentioned in the beginning, they're putting that on the pillar instead of themselves, not showing themselves that self-love. And I mean, say for example, you're just internally drained. Say it's not even externally. Say you don't feel adequate because you're looking at a comparison of yourself to someone else, which I don't even know why you're doing. If you're doing that, you're tripping. You played yourself. Humans are so individual. You can't really compare and correlate things, especially when it comes to, like, say, personal aesthetic. You're like, oh, I wish I was as bad as her. She looks so bad. I feel so lame now because I haven't reached my bod goals for the summer. The gym gains, they're not here yet. And you start beating yourself up. Start being in reaction. Start, playing yourself. And it's nobody even there. It's like a digital thing. No one's harassing you. You're like, I see the picture on the gram, on TikTok, the rap video. Now I'm questioning my worth. And, your energy is getting drained. How are you going to get that infinite energy? It takes, stepping aside from yourself, realizing that these circumstances are temporary. You're only temporarily judging yourself. And that, there's not really a need to dwell on something that you can't even compare yourself to. Now, if you start to unwind and really check your blind spots and be like, wow, I am bad, I was tripping, then that's a sick level of empowerment. And stacking wins throughout the day is another way to get that infinite energy. And if you start off with things like that, you'll set yourself up for success for a long time, because you're undoing the social conditioning that told you weren't enough. My favorite one of all is to add plus 0.001% of a level up to your day, as if you're a video game character gaining experience points. And it can go into many classes. You could do, my bubble, I didn't care what 6 people said today, so that's a plus 6 points level up of defense. Oh, well, I slept and ate and drank water today. I did some stretching. That's, flexibility points leveled up, hydration points leveled up for my equilibrium, sustenance points for my belly, and, some prime clarity from my sleep. I find all sorts of things that I love, and I just literally pretend I'm a video game character. I'm like, I'm gonna level up in that. I'm gonna level up in that. I'm gonna level up in that. And it really pulls me into a place where I feel like stacking wins. I'm gaining energy, even though it's just like stacking, little victory. I'm like, yo, my video game character today is OP. I'm getting off the charts. I'm gonna hit that next level. Now you have no excuses as to why you can't have infinite energy. I hope some of these worked. If not, try out some other ones. But Now that you know that the power is in your hands, go forth and conquer. Or look back and be like, I liked it back better there where I was making excuses as why I couldn't generate energy throughout the day. And I think I'll go be that person. And fine, be that person. Go back, be a peasant. I could care less. But for those who are willing to take action, I have all faith in you. Find what you enjoy. Live your life for you. Put yourself first. Draw from within. Stack those wins. Get present to the moment. Dismiss the peasants, the chodes, the negative energy, the drama. You're a goddess. You should be on top. You should be overflowing with energy. So now, when you feel like you're getting diminished, use one of these ways or create your own way of how to generate energy so it can be infinitely abundant.